Vince Russo recently spoke to a WWE superstar who revealed that some people have to wait 3 weeks to have a conversation with Vince McMahon. Past and present superstars often discuss their relationship with the WWE chairman in out-of-character media interviews. While some of the company's roster members had no problem talking to their boss, many former superstars admit they should have communicated with him more. Vince Russo, WWE's former head writer, gave his opinion to Sportskeeda Wrestling's Dr. Chris Featherstone that Rhea Ripley is currently being mismanaged on Raw. Using her as an example, Russo said the unnamed superstar he spoke to is even more high-profile than the Aussie, a talent at WWE, one of the best talents that we haven't seen for months. That's all I'll say. And he's still there. Bro, this talent told me when you want to see Vince and you want to talk to Vince, there's a 3-week wait. 3-week wait. And I would say if Rhea Ripley's here, this guy was probably here waiting 3 weeks. Killer Kross, known in WWE as Karrion Kross, spent just 4 months on the main roster in 2021 before receiving his release. Rhea Ripley, by contrast, has been performing full-time on Raw for almost a year, but her character has lost momentum in recent months. Elaborating on Kross and Ripley's booking, Vince Russo thinks Vince McMahon should not put NXT talents on Raw unless he has long-term plans for them. You've got a lot of these kids. Bro, you've got the Krosses. You've got the Rhea Ripleys. You've got so many of these kids going out there trying to figure it out. Bro, you can't figure it out on national live TV. That's not the place to figure it out. Chris, one of the biggest highlights of Ripley's career came in 2021 when she defeated Asuka at WrestleMania 37 to win the Raw Women's Championship. The 25-year-old is currently involved in a rivalry with her former tag team partner Nikki Ash. WWE superstar Sheamus has a bone to pick with Roman Reigns for going up against Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble. Sheamus was the guest on WWE's The Bump this week. The Celtic Warrior sat down with Kayla Braxton, Matt Camp, and Ryan Papala to discuss his appearance at the upcoming Royal Rumble and his future in the WWE. Sheamus boasted about his victory at WWE Day 1, where an injury to his protege Ridge Holland led to him fighting most of the match with a 2-on-1 disadvantage. He also mentioned that Roman Reigns was afraid of him, and so he decided to face Seth Rollins, a Raw superstar. Everyone is afraid to face me. 2-on-1 and I cleaned house. Now I'm going to the Rumble, which I'm okay doing, but still, there's no doubt about it. Roman's running scared, picking up Seth Rollins from Raw. Let's be honest about that. Who else is left? Sheamus declared. Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley, the two contenders for the top titles at the Royal Rumble, collided this week on Raw in the main event. The two superstars had a thrilling match, but it ended abruptly as Lashley's former Hurt Business cohort Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander attacked him, causing a disqualification. While the Almighty was dealing with Alexander and Benjamin, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, showed up and hit Seth freaking Rollins with a double superkick. It was a strong statement from WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns ahead of their encounter at the Royal Rumble. How will Seth Rollins respond to the Tribal Chief on the upcoming episode of WWE SmackDown? Ric Flair does not believe Charlotte Flair will ever face Tessa Blanchard in WWE or any other wrestling promotion. Blanchard is the daughter of Ric Flair's former Four Horsemen stablemate, Tully Blanchard. The 26-year-old previously made WWE appearances in NXT and the Mae Young Classic tournament, but she never signed with Vince McMahon's company. Speaking on his Woo Nation Uncensored podcast, Flair dismissed the possibility of his daughter going one-on-one with the former Impact World Champion. Never. I don't think she is going to go to WWE anytime soon. Charlotte's definitely not going to leave WWE. She gets it. She was so good on Friday night. She was amazing. She gets better every day, literally, which is hard to believe. As Ric Flair referenced, Charlotte appeared in a segment with Lita on last week's SmackDown to promote their participation in the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble. The segment ended with the WWE Hall of Famer hitting the Queen with a twist of fate. Tully Blanchard's daughter now works for the Los Angeles-based promotion Women of Wrestling. She previously wrestled for various companies around the world, including Impact Wrestling and Stardom. In 2016, Blanchard lost singles matches on NXT against future main roster superstars Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Nia Jax. A year later, she lost in the Mae Young Classic first round against Kairi Sane before winning a 6-woman tag team match the following day. Meanwhile, Charlotte Flair received her call-up to WWE's main roster in 2015. This meant she never shared the ring with Blanchard when she appeared on NXT. Zelina Vega took a shot at WWE Raw superstar Rhea Ripley following the latter's split with her tag team partner Nikki Ash. Zelina Vega and Carmella dethroned Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash to capture the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships last November. Ripley and Nikki had opportunities to regain their titles but couldn't capitalize. After Nikki took most of the pinfalls during the title rivalry, Vega and Carmella left no stone unturned by painting the Scottish star as the weak link. Ripley eventually proposed a split, but Nikki did not take the news well. She attacked her partner to cement her heel turn on Raw. Vega believes that the reigning champions should be credited as the puppet masters for this betrayal. She took to Twitter to take a shot at Rhea Ripley and the entire women's division, claiming that everyone on the roster was afraid of them. Here's what the Queen of the Ring had to say. The entire WWE Women's division is afraid of Carmella, and not one team has the guts to step to us. All bark, no bite. I don't blame them though. True puppet masters we are. Look what we did to Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash, bunch of bums. Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley were scheduled to lock horns in a singles match this week on Raw to settle the score. However, Nikki launched an attack on her opponent before the match could start. Ripley struggled to fight back against the sudden attack. Both superstars are now expected to engage in an extended feud on the Red brand. Their respective singles runs might also see them both pursue the Raw Women's Championship at one point or the other, although it is fair to say the team had run its course on WWE Raw. There isn't another credible duo on the main roster who can challenge Queen Zelina and Carmella for the titles, given that Vega's shots were directed at the rest of the women's division as well. Could we see another tag team step up to the challenge in the coming weeks? Vince Russo recently aired his honest thoughts on Bobby Lashley's booking ahead of his much-awaited match against Brock Lesnar at WWE Royal Rumble 2022. Lashley was featured in the main event of Raw this week that saw him face Seth Rollins in a singles match. Both superstars relied on their respective strengths to assert dominance inside the ring. The bout wasn't met with a clean finish as the Almighty was attacked by former Hurt Business members Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. Bobby Lashley managed to quickly recover from the surprise attack and hit back with an equally vicious response. Seth Rollins, who hoped to be a silent spectator of the assault on his opponent, was also on the receiving end of a superkick from the Usos, who made a surprise appearance on WWE Raw. Vince Russo questioned the booking decision involving Lashley and criticized his inability to beat Rollins. He feels that it compromised the Almighty's credibility before his big match against Brock Lesnar. Russo also took a shot at Vince McMahon by comparing the build-up to the bookings during the Attitude Era. We're supposed to believe that Lashley can beat Brock Lesnar when he couldn't beat Seth Rollins in 30 minutes. You protect Rollins, who fans know has zero chance of going over Roman for what? This is coming from same guy who booked the Attitude Era. Okay, tweeted Vince Russo. Both Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns are set to defend their respective championships at Royal Rumble later this month. The Beast Incarnate will put his WWE Championship on the line against Bobby Lashley, whereas the Tribal Chief will face Seth Rollins in the Universal Championship match. The creative team has invested heavily in both these feuds ahead of the first big premium live event of the year. Lashley and Lesnar's match has been in the making for over a decade. Both superstars share a similar background and are set to face each other in what would be one of the most believable big matches we have seen in a long time. Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar will meet for the weigh-in on WWE Raw next week. It will be exciting to see if Lashley gets back at the champion for insulting him during their last encounter. On the other hand, Reigns' clear message to Rollins is bound to have its repercussions. The Architect is likely to pay another visit to SmackDown and one-up his former Shield brethren to further build up the Universal Championship feud.